Broadcast Center in Los Angeles. This is KCAL 9 News at 4.
So much here to take in. Joining us right now to help us sort it all out is state and federal criminal law attorney Lou Shapiro.
It's really good to have you here. So what kind of legal consequences are these people facing?
Well, we have people in two categories, right? We have the category of the orchestrators and we have the category of the parents. I think the orchestrators are going to be facing a lot more issues than the parents, because the orchestrators are the ones that profited much more. We're talking about $25 million. Of course, they paid some out in bribes as well. But the parents are people that have no records, are generally good-natured people, and probably just really acted out of character in this scene. And they will pay dearly for it and will be remorseful for it, I'm sure.
When we list the charges, they include bribery, cheating. If convicted, what could some of these parents face?
So the parents technically could be looking at custody time, all right?
When you say custody time, what do you mean by prison time?
They could be looking at prison, yes.
Okay.
They could be. But generally, if somebody has no record and they've done nothing wrong and this is their first offense, a judge will look maybe to other ways, whether it's obviously there's a probationary period, there's community service or work like that, restitution, of course. But, for the orchestrators, that's a whole nother ballgame. The parents, it could be a game-time decision for the judge of sentencing.
Is there a pressure to get into Ivy League schools, an increasing pressure to get into Ivy Leagues these days?
Yes, I think what we're seeing now, more than ever, is this parent achievement pressure, where parents feel that, my child has got to go Ivy League, has to do the best they can, has to rise above everybody else. And unfortunately, we're seeing people buckle into the pressure in this very case, and it forces us to take a step back and go, are we really sending the right message to the next generation?
And in many cases, it's believed these students had no idea their parents were pulling the strings here, right?
Right, especially in the situations where the kids were taking the test, and when they left, the proctor would actually fix the answers on them, and the kid had no idea that it wasn't them who got those scores.
What about the kids that have already graduated who may have been involved in a scheme like this?
This goes back to 2011, so how far back do you go?
So what do you do with all those kids?
Right, so we're going to be hearing from each school individually what their general policies and procedures are for disciplining kids who have gotten in inappropriately or maybe have already graduated. Maybe their diplomas will be revoked. So we're going to be hearing about that school by school, what their policies are. But there's more to come on that end, I expect for sure.
Lou, as a defense attorney, what would you tell, if you, let's just say one of these people were your client, what would you say to them? How would you defend them?
I would say at this point, it's all about sentencing, right? It's not a case where you can fight on the facts because the recordings are there, the tracing is there. So it's all about, this is an opportunity now to show the judge and prosecutor what you've achieved your whole life. That this one set of facts doesn't define you your entire life. And to put that out there and say, please show some mercy for me on this time.
And one of the factors here was this nonprofit that these parents were apparently paying into. They may have taken a tax break in their income tax return. There's many layers to this onion, isn't there?
Right. It just gets uglier and uglier as you peel it. This nonprofit organization, which was set up to funnel the money through, was really there just so it would be untraceable. But ultimately, the parents took tax write-offs from it, and that's going to haunt them, I think, in sentencing.
All right. Lou, thank you so much for coming by.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for a wealth of information. We want to remind you to keep it right here on KCAL 9 News for continuing coverage of the college admissions scandal. For the very latest information, anytime, just head to our website, cbsla.com.
Yeah, as Lou was just telling us, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more of this in the coming weeks and months.